Am I live? Am I live? I think I am live. Yes, I am live. Didn't- I think I am live. Okay, yes, I am. Okay, so once again, I am reading Manorama Tell Me Why. This is the 27th book. It is about revolutions. Let's see what we will gonna learn today. Although my objective is to improve my reading and speaking skill, but what's wrong with reading the books and learning things at the same time? What was the once again I'm having cough. What was the what was the effect of Second Sino-Japanese War? Japanese War. The Second Sino-Japanese War was a major invasion of eastern China by Japan before during World War II. It ended with the surrender of Japan in 1945. The war against Japan the war against Japan drained the KMT's military resources, and Chiang Kai-shek army suffered devastating loss in early stage of war. The invading Japanese army was brutal in retaliation against the Chinese. Because of this, huge number of peasants joined the communists. They blamed Chiang Kai for their troubles, so the Second Sino-Japanese War worked an advantage of communists. What happened to Chiang Kai-shek in in the early morning of December 10th, 1949? Uh, Communist troops laid siege to Chengdu, the last KTM occupied city in mainland China, where Chiang Kai-shek and his son Chiang King-ku directed the defense at the Chengdu Central Military Academy. They were educated from there to Taiwan on the same day, forever removing them from the Chinese mainland. Chiang moved the government to Taipei, Taiwan, where he formally resumed his duty as president. In 1975, 26 years old Chiang fled Taiwan. He died in Taipei at the age of 87. When was the People's Republic of China established? On October 1st, 1949, the People's Republic of China was formally established with its national capital Beijing. Mao Zedong announced the creation of People's Democratic Dictatorship to be led by the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. At that time, CPP claimed a membership of 4.5 million. The party was under Mao's chairmanship, and Juhi allied the government. What was the Central Revolution? Thus, what was the cult, cultural revolution? The cultural revolution was actually a struggle for people within the Communist Party of China. It took form of widespread social, political, and economic violence. The Chao spread to the large section of Chinese society and eventually brought the entire country on brink of civil war. What was the background of cultural revolution? The political changes after 1949 communist takeover also resulted in swiping social charges. The house of farmer ruler classes were classified, classificated, and an item that did not confirm Mao's value was smashed. In 1957, Mao Zedong called for an increase in speed of industrial growth. To, to accomplish this goal, Mao began the Great Leap Forward, establishing special communae which were unit of administration in countryside. The communists used collective labor as and mass mobilization of peasants to increase the production of steel and raise agriculture production. However, it failed. The Cultural Revolution was, as mentioned, to regain control of party after disastrous Great Leap Forward led to a significant loss of Mao's power. His ritual Louis Saingui, who were the Red Guards. The Red Guards were Mao's tool to spread the cultural revolution. Their mission was to attack four olds of society. Red Guard in Beijing and everyone in China were youngsters who had taken the street from their schools. They made posters. What was the nature of cultural revolution? The cultural revolution transformed the existing student movement and Red Guards to the level of nationwide mass campaign. One of the main gestures of cultural revolution was the writing of big character posters and holding great debates. The main focus of these posters and debates were abolishment of four olds: old custom, old culture, old habits, and old ideas. Oh wait, I made a mistake here. I read incomplete phrase here. I think. I mean incomplete paragraph. Last time what I have read, who were the Red Guards, I hadn't completed over there. They made posters, speeches, and commuted committed violence act in the name of cultural revolution. Carrying portraits of Mao, the Red Guards marched through the street and destroyed all the symbols which they thought were feudal, capitalist, and radical. They ransacked museum and destroyed old books and works of art. Many famous buildings like temple and shrines and heritage were destroyed. In short, they made cultural revolution more violent. They did a great damage to the party, nation, the people, and themselves. Who did cultural revolution end? How did How did how did the cultural revolution end? In October 1968, Mao's chief rival was expelled from the party. This marked the beginning of the end of cultural revolution, as Mao saw no need to continue. However, the cultural revolution did not rely, rely until Mao's death in 1976. What were the political changes after Cultural Revolution? The history of Chinese state after Cultural Revolution falls in three phases, each punctuated by yet other upheaval in central leadership. The first phase consisted of assault on the newcomers, led to the downfall of their leader, Minister of Defense Lin Pao. The second ended in mirror victory for the newcomers by removal of Deng Xiaoping, and the third following date of Mao saw the removal of Gang of Four. Each of the changes took place without any popular partisan. The changes in leadership does not reflect major differences in policy. They only disagreed over certain symbolic and sometimes of obscure in Swiss over work literal literature over the role of private plots in agriculture and overtime pay in factories. Today, the Cultural Revolution is seen by most people inside and outside of China, including Communist Party of China and Chinese Democracy Movement supports as disaster and, and an event to be avoided in future. Two Chinas. The term two Chinas refers to the two states that have sorry. The terms two Chinas refers to two states that have word China in their name. They were Republic of China, established in 1912, currently control Taiwan and some in island groups nearby. And the People Republic of China, established in 1949, currently controlling mainland China. What was the Industrial Revolution? Who knows? Who knows that the word revolution refers to any sudden drastic change. The Industrial Revolution was a period in late 18th and early 19th century when major changes in agriculture, manufacturing, and transportation had profound effect on life in Britain. It occurs as a result of rapid development in technology, allowing for increased production through mechani- mechanization and large-scale production method. The changes brought about by industrial revolution spread throughout Europe, North America, eventually the world. The French, American, and the Chinese Revolution were political revolutions. The Industrial Revolution, on the other hand, began an economic social revolution that had worldwide influence, which was the world's first industrial nation. When we speak of industrial nation, we mean action. When we speak of an industrial nation, we mean a national in which industry is well developed. In earlier times, most countries relied mainly on agriculture. The first country to become industrialized was Britain. From 1780 onward, many industries sprang up in Britain. The landscape was soon dot- dotted with factories, and a new way of life began. What were the two what were the two main causes for the industrial revolution? There were two main causes of industrial revolution starting in 18th century. First, the population increased in the 18th century. There was need for more food and goods. People had to find ways to increase production. This helped to coming this helped the coming of industrial revolution. Second, new machines were invented. These machines changed the way of production in farms and factories, paving the way for industrial revolution. Reasons were that the Europeans set up more colonies overseas, and more capital was accumulated from trade. In fact, many factors influenced the changes that happened, and it is hard to say exactly what the industrial revolution start why when the industrial revolution started and or when it finished. Why did industrial revolution take place in Britain first? The industrial revolution occurred first in Britain because Britain had several unique advantages. To begin with, new method of agriculture not only improved production but also requires less labor. This meant that there was more people available to work in factories and more money to buy machinery. The first machine, the first machines were steam and water driven, and Britain had a plentiful supply of water as well as coal and iron needed for steam engines. British overseas colonies were a source of cheap and plentiful 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 raw materials, especially cotton. Britain was also a great trading nation with many merchant ships, so it was easy to transport finished goods to other countries. What was the effect of industrial revolution on the population? The industrial revolution caused an increase in real income per person in England, and it affects spreads in the rest of the Western world. Some historians are argue that they argue that the living standards of ordinary people fell. They point out that the workers lived and toiled in terrible conditions. Another group believes that the living standard rose. They point out that the working class began to enjoy many more benefits like cheaper food, clothes, and travel. Two nations. During the Industrial Revolution, the rich lived in great luxury while workers lived in miserable conditions. In fact, their lives were so different that it was as if they lived into two countries. Or in the world of Benjamin Disraeli, 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 Queen Victoria's Prime Minister in two nations. The importance of investors and invest sorry the importance of inventors. The inventors is a person who is the first to make a machine or appliance or to think of a design or process. They register their innovation with the government and are accorded with what was known as patent. Much of the industrial revolution was made possible by countless small inventions. In fact, we can easily say that without these inventors, they would not have been an industrial revolution. What was the nature of industry before industrial revolution? Before the Industrial Revolution, Britain was mainly an agriculture country. Many farmers raised sheep too, and as a result, the woolen industry was Britain's largest industry. Woolen cloth that was spun in cottages using simple tools had an international market and was important export. Entire family would work for home with women spinning and the men weaving the thread into cotton. The wool would be delivered to cottages and finished products collected by businessmen called courtiers. However, only small quantities of cloth could be produced in this manner, and workers had to work long hours to earn a living. What was the effect on industrial revolution on cotton production? In the 18th century, cotton clothes were gaining in popularity. Through cotton was expensive though cotton was expensive at first, with coming of the industrial revolution it became much cheaper. To begin with, to begin with, slave labor was being used in cotton field of America, and this made raw cotton cheaper to produce. At the same time, the innovation of a machine called a cotton gin by American Eli Whitney in 1794 made it easier to separate cotton from seeds, and this made cotton extremely profitable. How did industrial revolution begin in America? The first industrial revolution occurred in Great Britain during the late 18th century, and the second industrial revolution began during the mid 19th century in United States and Germany. The real impetus of America entered the second industrial revolution was the War of 1812 against Great Britain. The war made it apparent that America needed to better transportation system and more economic independence. Therefore, manufacturing began to expand. Where did industrialists get their money from? At first, one did not need much money to start a new business. However, as machinery became more complex and expensive, starting an industry required large amount of money or capital. Wealthy individuals began investing capital industry in I mean Wealthy individuals began investing capital in industry in the hope of making huge profits. Profits from the slave trade and farming were invested in industry. Industrialists also got money from banks that gave them loan and helped in the delay running a business. As a result, there was there were as a result, there was also a rapid growth to banking industry. Laissez-faire. The term laissez-faire stands for non-interference in affair of others. It refers to an economic policy that opposes governmental regulation or interference in in commerce beyond minimum. It was laissez-faire policy of the government that was responsible for the horrible working condition in factories. Okay, so I'm gonna end once again here with the hope that I can complete. Okay, tomorrow I will be able to complete the whole book. Today I'm ending the book at 81 page number. I will gonna continue it from 82 tomorrow. So I'm gonna end the stream here, and without any hope for getting any audience, any subscriber, or anything like that. I will talk to you all later. If you're watching my stream later, then thank you so much. It means a lot to me. If you're not, then it's okay. I'm not even having any hope for getting any views in this type of live streams. No hope at all. I'm just doing this just to improve my English, speaking English, reading skill, and little bit learning also. So I'm gonna end it here. Talk to you later. Okay. Thank you for watching if you're watching. Bye.